Hello students, welcome back to part 3 of our video. Now page 62 of your book, we have to discuss here towards civil disobedience. In this we will see how the events, that is the Swaraj Party, Salmon Commission and Poon Swaraj, provided base for the civil disobedience movement. In February 1922, Gandhiji decided to withdraw the non-cooperation movement because of the Chauri Chaura incident. Gandhiji felt that movement was turning violent in many places and satyagrahis need to be properly trained for the mass struggle. But within the Congress, some leaders were by now tired of the mass struggle and wanted to participate in elections. They felt that it was important to oppose British policies within the council. So, as a result, C.R. Das and Motilal Nehru, they formed the Swaraj Party to participate in elections. Now, Simon Commission of 1928, headed by Sir John Simon, was given the task to draft Indian Constitution, and it was greeted by all parties with the slogan, "Go back, Simon." Reacting to this, Viceroy Lord Irwin offered Dominion status and a roundtable conference discussion for the future constitution in October 1929. Now page 63 of your book. Prior to this, we have discussed that Gandhiji withdrew the non-cooperation movement because of the Chauri Chaura incident, and some leaders like C.R. Das and Motilal Nehru, they formed the Swaraj Party to participate in the elections. Then we have discussed the Salmon Commission of 1928 headed by Sir John Simon, and it was greeted by "Go back, Simon" slogans. So reacting to this, the Lord Irwin, he offered Dominion status like you can make, the Indians can make the government autonomy will be given, but it will be under the British Crown only. Some autonomy will be given, but under the British Crown only. So now page 63, in December 1929, Lahore session under the presidency of Jawaharlal Nehru passed a resolution demanding Poon Swaraj, that is full independence. So in response to the offer made by Lord Irwin of the Dominion status, Pandit Nehru, he passed a resolution demanding a Poon Swaraj, that we want full independence and we don't want any Dominion status. We don't want to be under a crown now. We want our full independence. It was declared that 26 January 1930 would be celebrated as a Independence Day, but it was not achieved. So Gandhiji had another idea to go with civil disobedience movement. Now the ground was fertile to launch civil disobedience movement. Continuing the same page 63, now we have to discuss here Salt March and the civil disobedience movement. Now here we will discuss why was the Salt March considered as an effective symbol of resistance against the colonialism. Mahatma Gandhi found in salt a powerful symbol that could unite the nation. Salt was something consumed by the rich and the poor alike, and it was one of the most essential items of the food. And the tax on salt and the government monopoly over its production, Mahatma Gandhiji declared, revealed the most oppressive face of the British rule, that it is a crime that they are levying the tax on the essential commodities also, like salt. Now let's see the course of Salt March, or the famous Dandi March. On 31st January 1930, Mahatma Gandhiji sent a letter to the Viceroy Irwin stating 11 demands. So Mahatma Gandhiji letter was in a way an ultimatum. If the demands were not fulfilled by 11th March, the letter stated that the Congress would launch a civil disobedience campaign. Lord Irwin was unwilling to negotiate. So Gandhiji started his famous march accompanied by 78 of his trusted volunteers. The march was over 240 miles from Gandhiji's ashram in Sabarmati to the Dandi. The volunteers walked for 24 days, about 10 miles a day, and on 6th April he reached Dandi, and he violated the law by manufacturing salt by boiling seawater. Page 64 of your book. Now let's see the difference between the civil disobedience movement and the non-cooperation movements which were launched by Gandhiji. People refused to cooperate with the government during the non-cooperation movement. This you have seen. The people didn't cooperate during the non-cooperation movement. But people broke the laws during the civil disobedience movement. Like Gandhiji started civil disobedience movement by breaking salt law. Similarly, people started breaking the forest laws, going into the reserve forest to collect wood and graze cattle. Secondly, the Muslim participated in large number in non-cooperation movement. You remember the Khilafat non-cooperation movement, but Muslim participation was less in civil disobedience movement. Third, the no tax campaign was not there in non-cooperation movement, but people refused to pay taxes in civil disobedience movement. Like peasants refused to pay revenue and chowkidari taxes. One more difference was related to women's participation. A very less number of women participated in non-cooperation movement, but in civil disobedience movement, women participation was huge. They participated in protest marches, manufactured salt, and went to jail also. Now let's see, why was the civil disobedience movement called up by Gandhiji? So, worried by the developments, the colonial government began arresting the Congress leaders one by one. When Abdul Ghaffar Khan was arrested, angry crowds demonstrated on the streets of Peshawar. Many were killed. When Gandhiji himself was arrested, angry people attacked police posts, municipal buildings, railway stations. A frightened government responded with the policy of brutal repression. And then peaceful satyagrahis were attacked, women and children were beaten. So Mahatma Gandhiji once again decided to call off the movement and entered into a pact with Irvin in 1931. And according to this pact, Gandhiji consented to participate in a second round table conference, and government agreed to release the political prisoners. To page 65 of your book. Now, prior to this, we have seen Gandhiji launched the civil disobedience movement, and then the government was worried, the British government was worried about the developments which were taking place. Then Abdul Ghaffar Khan was arrested, Gandhiji himself was arrested, peaceful satyagrahis were attacked. So Mahatma Gandhiji called off the movement and he entered into the pact with Lord Irwin, according to which he agreed to participate in the round table conference in London, and government agreed to release the political prisoners. So now in December 1931, Gandhiji went to London for conference, but negotiations broke down and he returned disappointed. Back in India, Gandhiji discovered Ghaffar Khan and Nehru were both in jail and Congress had been declared illegal. So Gandhiji relaunched the civil disobedience movement. For over a year, the movement continued, but by 1934, it lost its momentum.